Okay, hi there guys, welcome to my first vlog with my brand spanking new R3 CPU imported from Indonesia, and 100 units were imported. All of them have been sold out. I was lucky enough to find one for myself among the last three. So I think if you are lucky enough, you might find one or two leftovers in the dealers, but at the factory everything is sold out. Okay, now very important question or very important topic as to how to break in or run in your new motorcycle. So we're gonna have a talk about that as I run in my new R3. Lot of debates that run-in is basically a myth. Run-in periods are not necessary, and so on and so forth. So we're gonna talk about all that in this motor vlog. Now, imagine a diagram. Okay, first things first. At the cylinder head, you have the piston, you have the oil chamber, the combustion chamber, you have the piston ring in the between. Okay, so once the engine starts running, the piston starts moving up and down. Okay, and when it rubs against the surface of the cylinder head, the piston ring forms a seal to ensure that the oil doesn't go into the combustion chamber and ensures that the combustion gas doesn't come into the oil chamber. So this ensures fuel loss, fuel wastage, low mileage, and low performance and whatnot. Okay, so to ensure this is done properly, you should ensure that the piston ring seals the chamber properly. So for that, braking in is very, very important. Now, if you are going to ride very, very slowly at 40-50 kilometers per hour, the movement of the piston will create a hollow groove on the cylinder wall, which again will result in the oil moving on to the combustion chamber or the combustion gas coming into the oil chamber. Similarly, if you are riding too fast, redlining the bike, even that might create an uneven surface where there's a leakage of the combustion gas into the oil chamber. So for ensuring that the piston ring seals the chamber properly, you have to find the right balance. For that, what you need to do is run the bike across different RPMs, because it has to understand that later on, like if you're riding through the city, you might not go to red lines, but if you're riding on the highways, you are not going to come down below the red line. Similarly on a racetrack, so it has to understand different scenarios. So for it to understand different scenarios for the engine, that it has to deploy different scenarios in different road conditions, you have to run it in accordingly, or break in the engine accordingly. So say for instance, you want acceleration and deceleration. Okay, so what does this basically do? Now, not only is the engine new, along with the engine, the tires are new, the brake pads are new, and believe it or not, 50% of all the road accidents happen with new motorcycles. When the person is not familiar with the motorcycle is not familiar with the rider, the bike doesn't know how to react to the rider doesn't know how to react to the bike. It's more or less training a horse. Now, if you're training until you get familiar with the horse is not going to allow you to ride on it. Similarly, the horse has to get used to the horse rider, or the horse rider has to get to understand the horse to know how it will react in different conditions. So it's a similar story. It's horsepower, bro. So the most important point here is, not only are you running in your engine, you are also running in your new tires, you are bedding in your new brake pads, and straight out of the new showroom, the guys go pelting on the highway or the ORRs hitting 180, 200, 250, 280 just to get some Instagram reel and get some likes. And when they try to hit the brakes won't work properly. Why? Because the braking pads have not been bedded in properly. So it needs that rough surface to latch on. The tire needs a proper contact patch to be established. For that, tire pressure is important. For the tire grooves to bed in, if there's wax all over the tire, how will the tire grip the surface? So straight out of the factory, there's a lot of wax on the tire. So all these things need to wear off. So running in is crucial to avoid several dangers. First, for you to get familiar with the bike, for the bike to get familiar with your riding style, for the tires to run in such that tires can warm up and the tires are ready to be thrashed around. The brake pads have been bedded in so that the calipers can hold on to the brake pads and give you enough stopping power. So all these things, so on and so forth. But the engine is the most important of all. If you're going to screw up the initial process itself, the bike is not going to understand how to react in what scenario. And suddenly, if someone revs the hell out of it, there's a chance of engine seizing. Suddenly, if the guy is not riding it the way it is to be ridden, the chance of the bike failing you is more. So always run in your motorcycle or brake in your motorcycle, running it through different RPMs, running it through different gears. So such that the piston ring seals the chamber properly and such that you have one sublime engine to enjoy once the running in is done. Also, the running in is not a mere myth. See, with the kind of new tech that was primarily for carbureted engines, running in was more imperative. But for fuel injected engines with DLC coated pistons and all, it's not really necessary. What is necessary though is you understanding your motorcycle, you getting to know your limits, you understanding your motorcycle limits, you understanding your own limits. It's not necessary that your motorcycle's limits will match your limits. Now, for you to scale up or up your skill set to match a liter class capability, it will take some time for you to get familiar with that kind of power. So you start with a 200cc, scale up to a 300, a parallel twin, then an inline 3 or maybe an inline 4, then understand the power band, the kind of torque delivery, and then you start pushing yourself slowly but surely up the line or up the ante, and then you understand that okay, the top end bliss is there. But initially, straight from a Pulsar or this thing, or your parents buy you a first motorcycle as a ZX10R or a Hayabusa, you go blazing onto this thing. Everyone can twist the throttle, everyone can go fast in a straight line, but when there's a corner, if you're not able to control it, one gentleman lost his life. Very, very bad scenario. I don't want to take the brand's name or the group's name or what happened when, but it happened very, very recently. A man, a father of two, just passed away in a very tragic incident. He was riding a heavy motorcycle and he crashed onto the divider. Imagine, his body was shredded into pieces. 4 different pieces of his body was found. Imagine the kind of speed he would have been doing for the body to have been torn apart so brutally. So please know your limits, understand your limits, ride within your limits, brake in your engine properly, such that the piston ring seals the cylinder wall properly, such that the engine is properly run in, such that you can enjoy the best of the best, the best that the engine has to offer. A motorcycle like this revs all the way up to 13,000 RPM. And how do you warm up your tires? People say doing this kind of an exercise. Okay, that might work, but faster than that, it has to generate heat into the rubber. For that, acceleration and deceleration is the best way. That will not only warm up your tires, that will also bed in your brake pads. So that's a twofold advantage that's happening. So how you are running in your tires, you're also bedding in your brake pads on such empty roads. And that first 1,000 kilometers is crucial for the engine and the bike to be set up such that you can enjoy your honeymoon fling in the best way possible over the next 9,000 kilometers, or until next 4 or 5,000 kilometers, until the first service arrives. So all these things, please note and double underscore, and hope you understood. Imagine the diagram of the oil chamber, the piston, the cylinder head, the piston ring, and the combustion chamber, and then you would be able to figure out. So that's pretty much it. Hope you this vlog was useful, and hope you understood the relevance of running in your motorcycle, and the relevance of how safe it is if understanding the limits of your motorcycle, understanding the true character of a motorcycle, and then unleashing the power within. So thanks for watching. If you like what you see and want to see more such pure automobile content, please do share it with your friends. Like, it should go in all groups. I said this is the education that you need, not some kind of bullshit revving the hell out of machine and going and reacting in front of girls college, and reacting in front of putting a kid on board, scaring him to death, and that gets 10 million views. But videos such as this, which is actually life-saving videos, they are not shared across groups, they are not shared across people. I don't know what's happening to this community. So it's a request as a senior biker and your biker brother, please share this across so that people understand the relevance of running in their motorcycle, and also understanding the limits of their motorcycle, so that we can make this a better place to ride. Cheers to the biking brotherhood. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Until then, take care, God bless, and ride safe.